Welcome back to Caps Hockey Review. Back with you again. 2 more games to discuss. Big tilts against the Hurricanes and the Panthers. Caps Hockey Review. Let's go. Welcome back to Caps Hockey Review. Back with you again. 2 more huge games to discuss, like I said. And this is not just, these are not any other game. These are not mixed into the schedule. These are games that are circled on the calendar, and for good reason. The Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes are 2 of the very best teams in the NHL to this point so far this season. So, if you're coming in as the Capitals, you're a bit of a surprise this season, I would say, for most. Most people probably didn't expect them to be this good right out of the gate. And they're kind of, like I said, being a bit of a surprise team, but they're doing it in a different way than they normally do. Of course, with all the injuries, you got to get the kids in. So, but this is a game. This is a game for the Caps where you find out. These 2 games are the teller. Are we legit? Because the Carolina Hurricanes are legit. The Florida Panthers are legit. They are coming into their Stanley Cup windows that we're so fond of talking about in Washington. This is kind of the next era. I mean, I would expect to see this Hurricanes team and this Panthers team compete for Stanley Cups for the next 5, 6, 7 years. So you've got your older team in the Caps, and we're trying to prove we can still hang around, and these are the 2 games to prove it. So for the Caps, still injuries, still a lot of injuries. We haven't seen Connor Sherry since his injury on the West Coast. Justin Schultz has been shifted to injured reserve. Oshie's still out. Backstrom's still out. And, of course, Mantha is still on long-term injured reserve. The wheel keeps turning, folks. It ain't stopping. So, off we go, kids. Load up and let's give it our damnedest. And they have. So, we'll start with Carolina. And I'll mix in a few other things along the way. But starting with the Carolina game. The Caps played really well. They really did. I mean, they struggled early. I would say especially the first 10 minutes. You got travel, you had Thanksgiving, whatever. For the Caps, slow start. Took them probably a good 10 minutes or so to really find their legs. So, Hurricanes dominate early, but Ilya Samsonov, I'm going to talk about him a lot, just fair warning. This guy, I discussed it before. Big things from Samsonov ever since Zach Fucale made his NHL debut for the Caps a couple weeks ago. Posts a shutout, huge story. That was kind of the kickstart for Samsonov. I don't know if he saw maybe his job flash before his eyes in that moment or what happened, but he woke up and he has found another level that we hope was there, as fans, and I'm sure the Caps as a team were also hoping, oh my God, this guy has to have it, right? Like, we took him in the first round for a reason. This talent has to be there somewhere, and I think he's found it. It took him a little bit to get there, but I think he's found that level that will make him an elite NHL goalie. So, he was really good. He kind of held the Canes off early and let the Caps find their legs. I mean, you need your goalie to do a lot of things for you, and for your team to be able to they kind of waded into the pool a little bit, and Sammy really kind of threw him a life ring and let them find their bearings. So, great job by him. And I felt as the first period went along, especially, the Caps gained some control. No score after 20 minutes, but that would change. Second period rolls around. Alex Ovechkin keeps doing his thing. Another goal for the captain. And then, a couple minutes later, Alexei Protas. Weird goal. Just clicked off a skate in front of the net. Found a way in. You take him however you can get him. His first NHL goal. The Caps rookies are scoring. I think every rookie has scored a goal that's played this season. So great job by those guys. Getting it done, really filling in, and really helping out. And I'm going to talk about that too a little bit later on. Moving to the third period. The Hurricanes came out hard. I mean, the Caps got an early power play in the third, couldn't do anything with it. You know, it swings back the other way. The Canes gets the power play. And they didn't score, but it generated momentum for them, and that really, I think, led to their 2 goals. And their 2 goals. Just kind of, tough play in front of the net, turning the puck over, not getting it deep in the Hurricane zone. Samsonov got hung out to dry on those 2. I would not pin those goals on him at all. Anytime as a goalie, you're facing somebody, especially at the NHL level, I mean, everybody's going to bury that for the most part. From the high slot, nobody cover him. The guy has time to set and kind of pick his corner. They're going to score. It's very rare that they don't. So, Samsonov kind of gets buried on those 2. It's unfortunate, but Caps hang on. Get a dub. It's all good. But within that, after the Hurricanes' 2 goals, they've got it tied. They're feeling good. They take another penalty. And then they take another one about 30 seconds later. So we got a 5-on-3. And both justified calls, especially the second one. Sebastian Aho delivers a slash to Alexei Protas' stick that snaps it. Under the new rules, that is, even under old rules, that's a pretty easy call for a ref at any level, especially in the NHL. Rod Brind'Amour, head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod the Bod, as some people like to call him, was pissed. This man, he's already been fined by the NHL before for criticizing officiating, and I mean, I don't get it in this instance. I mean, he actually came out later and admitted that the refs made a good call. I don't know if it's just anger in that moment that the game's finally starting to swing your way and then you have this happen. I get it. It's frustrating. He should have taken it out on his own player. I mean, he is just screaming at the ref. If you haven't seen the clip, which I think has made all the rounds by now, check it out. I mean, this man is just about to blow a gasket on the bench. He might keel over and have a stroke for all anybody knows here. He is hot under the collar. So, nothing happens here. He could have gotten an additional bench minor, which would have really put the Hurricanes in a hole. He didn't, but it wouldn't matter. But moving to the third goal here, the Caps. Power play. Here's how down bad the Caps are for forwards. Dmitry Orlov, our favorite Russian defenseman, is playing forward on the power play. Yes. He is playing forward on the power play right in front of the net because you need somebody to do it. So he's doing a little bit of everything, and he would score a power play goal from right in front of the net. And to seal the deal, Rod would get more pissed off at this and just continue screaming at the refs. Eventually he would be fined by the NHL for these actions, but not ejected from the game, which is interesting. Either way, don't matter. Caps win. John Carlson tacks on an empty netter for good measure. Caps get out of Raleigh. Look pretty good in the process. Had some moments, but you're going to have moments in any game where, a team has opportunities, and the Canes made the most of theirs. But the Caps had more opportunities and, of course, made the most of theirs. So, moving forward to the Panthers. I really liked the first 40 minutes of this game. The Caps were really good. They went quick strike. McMichael scores kind of, a lucky goal, but you got to be lucky to be good to be lucky. Banks it in off Sergei Bobrovsky's back from behind the goal line to get the Caps up 1-0. And then right off the ensuing face-off, the Caps come right back. Beck Malenstein scores his first NHL goal. Another rookie. Still doing it. So, Really great start for the Caps. I mean, this is all, 5-6 minutes into the game. Really, really great start for Washington, and they'd continue. I mean, the Panthers would add a goal shortly thereafter, but the Caps controlled the first 40 minutes of this game, especially that second period. Again, they've been dominant there all season. They tack on 2 more goals. Things are looking good. We're headed to the third period, up 4-1. It's all good in the hood. All you got to do is close out 20 minutes. We've seen them do it all year. They've made the most of their opportunities early in the game, and they get down to that final 20 minutes. And, boys, we just got to play 20 good minutes, go out there and close it out. We don't need anybody to score, 5 goals this period. Let's go out there and get a win. I don't know who didn't get the memo. And judging from the performance on the ice in the third period, I would say the entire team who played, aside from Ilya Samsonov, did not get the memo. This was a collapse for the ages. The only thing that could make this worse is if this was a playoff game. This reminded me of what exactly it feels like to be a Caps fan before the Stanley Cup happened. This moment, this just awful moment where you realize this team, the Washington Capitals, is checked out. And they were. I mean, this team was, let's get on the plane. We got a 4-game homestand coming. Let's get home. Enough of this being on the road stuff for a while. They forgot to play the third period. I say they. Everybody except Samsonov. The man gave up 4 goals in the third period. He faced 27 shots in the third period. That ain't going to get it done if you're the Caps. That's not the brand of hockey they play. They are one of the league leaders in not allowing shots on goal. I think they've got the 5th lowest shots allowed per game in the NHL. And this is what you do. You come out, give up a quick one, and then you give up a shorty. You get a power play. You get the opportunity to get that right back and to get your 3-goal lead right back and put the nail in the coffin, and you give up a shorty. And that, I mean, at that point, everybody kind of woke up, but by then, the Panthers have scored 2 goals in quick succession, so now the ice just tilts and tilts and tilts. The crowd's in a frenzy. The Panthers are flying around all over the place, and the Caps could not right the ship. The Panthers would score to tie the game shortly after, and then, okay, everybody finally gets engaged. I mean, Samsonov was under siege. I mean, 27 shots in one period. There are teams who don't put up 27 shots in a game on a regular basis. The Caps barely allow 30 shots a game. They give up almost their average shots per game in one period. In 20 minutes, how does this happen? This, I hope beyond hope that this was an absolute outlier. It was a blip on the radar and we don't need to worry about it. This could be the thing that unravels this team if it continues. The thing with the Caps that I have talked about at length since Todd Reirden was the head coach of this franchise, they need to play a complete 60 minutes. And they have done that all season. They have been good open to close in almost every game they've played. This was a rare exception this season, and it was a horrible exception. Samsonov ended up facing 51 shots in this game. 51 shots. He faced more shots by a slim margin, mind you, but still, more shots in this third period than he did in the first and second combined. It can't happen. It cannot happen. This team is so much better than that. They've proven that so far this season. To have this happen now, is terrible. And like I said, I hope this is a blip on the radar. Samsonov was great. He was hung out to dry by his team in this period. You could tell he was frustrated, but he kept battling. I would not blame a single one of these goals on him. Shorties, you're not supposed to face shorthanded chances. For everything else, I mean, the chances, it's just chances galore for the Panthers. I mean, it's not one and done with shots. It's a shot, and then you get, 1 rebound, 2 rebounds, 3 rebounds even, all in about, a 5 or 10 second span. It cannot happen. You have this young goalie who's finally looking like he's found himself and starting to look like the first round prospect that he is. He's finally finding his way, finally getting confident, and this team does this to this guy. I will defend goalies to the end of the earth in most cases, and I absolutely will here. This team absolutely screwed their goalie. He was headed to another win. It's his first regulation loss of the season, and the team in front of him absolutely drops the ball. So, the death blow for the Caps comes with about 14 seconds left. They take another penalty. They took a ton. I think they took 3 or 4 penalties in this period. And the first couple, it's like, okay, it's a stupid penalty. You don't really need to take it. But then after that, they're just chasing the game so much that it almost becomes a byproduct because you're tired, you're trying to get off the ice, you're trying to get the puck out, that, you maybe hold a guy or you hook a guy or you trip him. It comes with chasing the game as badly as they were. So, hoping this doesn't happen again. I am sure Laviolette was furious with this performance. Everything was good. First 40 minutes, everything looked good. I have no idea why this team fell apart like that. It's like somebody flipped a switch and they all just wandered off at the brain. So, for the Caps, need to come out with a better third period performance next game. Before we get there, though, talking some more prospects because, well, we need to. Just a few news and notes. I've seen a few things. Martin Ferravari, should he, shouldn't he be in the conversation for the Calder Trophy for NHL Rookie of the Year? I like the guy, and he's done a lot of good things, but the things he does really well. He's contributed goals and assists a couple times, absolutely. Great job by him. But the things that get revered, and I've talked about it before, your offensive production. I mean, he's doing great things, but the things he's leading rookie defensemen in, blocked shots, hits, plus minus. He's playing a lot on the PK. He's not getting those power play looks. I mean, a lot of defensemen put up their points on the power play. So he's not putting up the points. And I don't think he's going to win the Calder Trophy, and I don't think he's really even going to get a vote. I mean, based on what you've got Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond over in Detroit doing just unbelievable things. A few other guys, I'm spacing names at the moment. I know there's a few more. I apologize. The things Ferravari does well just really don't get that, the glitz and the glamour and the, the great recognition, but he's doing great things. I mean, like I've talked about it before, this guy could be your next defensive cornerstone once John Carlson calls it a day. So for Ferravari, I'm very happy with what he's done so far, and I'm happy with all the rookies. I mean, I haven't seen really anybody's performance that's been overly bad. I mean, last night was too tough to really pick out anybody in that third period specifically because everybody just looked bad. So, and I talked about this in shifting gears a little bit. What happens when some guys start getting healthy? Because we're missing Lars Eller there. Okay, so now Eller's back. He's good to go. He's off COVID protocol. What happens? Well, Daniel Sprong comes out. These rookies have played well enough that they are sticking in the lineup over older guys, possibly more proven guys. Will it continue? Probably not. I mean, you're going to get Sherry back probably sooner than later. Don't know on Oshie. Don't really know on Backstrom. Backstrom's skating, but he's non-contact. Oshie has not skated with the team yet since his second injury. So these guys are going to have some more time to prove themselves. But right now, for my money, Connor McMichael, of course, I've talked about him at length, and Alexei Protas are my two I would pick out of the 5 that played last night. So we've got McMichael, Protas, Brett Leeson, Beck Mallenstein, and Mike Scarbosa. I would imagine Alexei Protas and Connor McMichael will be regular fixtures in the lineup once everybody is healthy as well. I think Leeson, Scarbosa, and Mallenstein will find their way back to Hershey. But these two guys, I mean, Protas has been playing with Ovechkin and Kuznetsov, and it's been great chemistry. I mean, he's been really good. Kuz is, hasn't put up a point in these last 2 games, but he's doing the right thing still. I mean, it's not like he's becoming invisible on the ice again. He's still doing great things, creating chances offensively, and really helping out in the D zone. He's really taken seriously to adding that two-way element to his game, and Ovi's Ovi. So I think it's really a great thing for Ovi and Kuz to get the opportunity to play with a young guy like this, and obviously it's a great opportunity for Protas as well. For McMichael, he continues to kind of bounce around between the center and the wing, but still doing his thing, creating great chances. He's not showing up on the score sheet every night. I mean, he probably could be. I mean, just needs a couple bounces here or there, and he's putting up a lot more points. And he's put up a decent amount so far. So I would look for these two to stick around. And like I've discussed before, the Caps have historically been an organization that struggles to get their young guys involved. And meaning that there never seems to be room for too many young guys on the NHL roster, which is fine, but now the Caps are in this weird spot because you have an aging core who, the debate's there. Do they have the energy? Do they have the durability to last the 82-game season and make a run through the playoffs? These young kids are going to help that. I've talked about a lot of this. They just provide a spark. So having young kids in the lineup and really making their mark on this team is a great thing. We've heard a lot in the past about, the Caps have the worst pipeline for prospects in the entire NHL. And once their core's aged, it's going to be dark days because there's nobody coming. Well, now it seems like there is. I mean, McMichael and Protas have been, more recent draft picks, along with Leeson was in the same draft class as these two. Hendrix Lapierre, more recent draft pick, of course, sent back to juniors, but you don't make an NHL roster at a training camp by accident. So, big future for him. I mean, Mallenstein's been good. Scarbosa's been good. Even, Janssen Fjallby. All these guys have been good, and the future looks a little better now. And hopefully the Caps can continue to find ways to get these kids involved on a more regular basis. But for now, we're looking to see guys get healthy. I mean, the Caps have been really good and really probably overachieved to this point in the season. We're looking to see some guys get healthy. I think Backstrom or Sherry are probably the 2 prime candidates to come back the quickest. So get some experience back in there. It's been great what the kids have done, and I think some of them will stick. But it'd be nice to get back to somewhat normal of a power play, or just to get Backstrom back in the lineup. That's going to be huge. I think I can have theories about lineup changes, but I won't go that far here. The Caps doing good things. Aside from that third period, this team has been very, very good through the first, 23 games, They've done really good things, and they need to keep it going. So, what do we look for the next few games? I will be back with you. I haven't looked at the schedule yet. I know. Terrible job by me not looking ahead. I know the Chicago Blackhawks on Thursday. It starts a 4-game homestand. I haven't looked at the second game, but I will be back with you after that second game. We're looking to get back to the winning ways, obviously, and a complete 60-minute game against the Blackhawks, and continuing from there. So that's what I will be looking for, of course. Hopefully, maybe we'll just see Connor Sherry or Nick Backstrom play a game here in the next, somewhere in this homestand. Hopefully, get some bodies back. Man, this team, the injuries have been insane this season. I'm a bit jumbled today. I apologize. I'm kind of all over the place, but kind of got a lot of things I wanted to get out and wanted to discuss here. So, last thing, goaltending-wise, Ilya Samsonov has started 4 straight games. So, I would say the edge, yes, I'm talking about goaltending again. I'd say the edge in this battle is his right now. That may change. Who knows? I would expect to see Vitek Vanacek on Thursday. It was kind of a rough go for Sammy. None of it was his fault on Tuesday night. Can't put any of it on him, and I don't think anybody on that team or on that coaching staff does. So, looking for Vitek to get back in. We haven't seen him since Seattle. He had kind of a rough night. So, get some rotation going again. You don't want him to sit for too long. But if Sammy's the guy, if he's the one you're going to put the saddle on, then keep him going, though. I mean, work Vitek in here and there, but if Sammy's really starting to show like we hope he is and really prove that he's the guy for this team, keep him going. And finally, one last thing. Olympics. Coming up here in February, if COVID doesn't, drop another bomb on the NHL. The Olympics for the Caps. What are we looking at? Well, we already know Alex Ovechkin is going to be part of the Russian Olympic team. I would expect Dmitry Orlov to be there as well. Kuzi, it's up in the air. The Russian Olympic Committee is trying and working very hard. That looks horrible. Pardon me while I adjust my hat. Folks, I apologize for that. The Russian Olympic Committee is working extremely hard to overturn that or to end Kuzi's 4-year ban from international competition early. So, if you'll recall, his ban came in 2019. It was for 4 years. So, currently, 22 will put him at 3. So, they're working very hard to overturn that. Last I heard, there's an 80% chance it'll be overturned. It's Russian sources, though. They're not always the most reliable. They misprint things. They parse words. So I'm hoping we'll see Kuz in the Olympics. Samsonov could be. The goaltending situation is fairly deep for Russia, which is kind of a rarity. We haven't seen that in a while. I mean, obviously Andrei Vasilevsky will be the one, barring an injury. He's probably the best goalie in the world. Sergei Bobrovsky down in Florida is having a great year for the Panthers. Semyon Varlamov has been to the Olympics before, so maybe we could see that as the trio for the Russians. We'll see. Elsewhere for the Caps, it's unclear if Backstrom's going to be there for Sweden. Given his injury and that he hasn't played yet this season, he may decide to sit it out. I know these guys like to play in the Olympics, and I'm a huge advocate for players to get the opportunity to represent their country in the Olympics. It might be in his best interest to sit it out. He's missed, a quarter of the season already for the Caps, and if, it's more opportunity for injury. He's struggled with this last couple of years, so maybe some extra rest will do him some good. Elsewhere for the Caps, Feravari could possibly crack the roster for Slovakia. I think he's projected. Lars Eller for Denmark. Daniel Sprong possibly for Denmark as well. So, there's a lot of things. We could see Vitek play for the Czech Republic. I don't know how deep they are at goaltender, so we could see Vitek get in as well. So, a lot of Olympic representation for the Caps. And John Carlson for the U.S., of course. Maybe TJ Oshie for the U.S. I haven't seen him projected. He's a little bit older. They're kind of going after the younger guys at this point. So maybe we'll see Osh, but Carlson, Ovi, maybe Backstrom, Orlov, maybe Kuznetsov, maybe Sammy, maybe Vitek, probably Feravari. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. Anyway, to end my rambling, ladies and gentlemen, for these next 2 games, obviously looking to see us get back to the winning ways. Let's see a full 60 minutes. Let's see that continue, that good consistency. They've been so good all year. Looking to see them get back to it. I'll be back with you after this second game of this homestand. Again, I apologize. I don't know who they're playing in that second one. Bad work by me. I'll be better next time. I promise. Until next time, my friends, go Caps.